Listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Every discussion from experience, and hopefully within it delivers some deliverance. It's all facts and opinionated, from the west where that real spit originated. Brothers truly trying to save a soul, provoke thought so we can really designate a goal. We on that grown man scribble, the ball in our court with command on the dribble. This is something that'll help the show, cause it's something that'll help us grow. We see exactly what the people need. Now welcome to the show, Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Welcome to the show, Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Welcome to the show, Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Spitt'n Pollaseedz.
Hello, hello. Hey, what up, y'all? What up, Kevin? Trev, what time is it?
Okay, it's about that time.
What time is that?
That time.
That time?
Time
Pete, what
Spitt'n
time is it?
Pollaseedz.
It is Spitt'n Pollaseedz time.
EP, what time is it?
You already know what time it is. I'm ready to spit the
You
pot.
ready to spit them
Spit them
policies? Well,
seeds.
y'all know what it is. It's Wednesday, 8 o'clock, always. You know to find us. Come on in.
Hey,
Have a seat.
Welcome.
Tell a friend. Welcome to Spitt'n Pollaseedz, y'all. I hope y'all done had a good week up until this point. But look, we gonna tap in, see how everybody is doing. Trev.
All is well. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching us and enjoying getting a chance to have a seat with us, enjoy a conversation, call, leave us some messages. We would love to hear from you. We love to converse with you. We hope your week is going well, and I hope this also adds to your week. Kanoom, how you feel?
Well, as always, I'm blessed. I can't say nothing else.
Nice hat.
I'm blessed. Oh, thank you. This is a swank special.
Okay.
Swank special.
What
This
makes it
is a
special?
swank special. You see the
price?
mud cloth on the
Oh, okay.
on the
Mud cloth.
yeah
Mud
the mud
cloth.
cloth.
what is swank?
Swank is your local men's haberdashery where you can get some of the finest garments in the land.
Oh,
Yeah,
a haberdashery.
haberdashery. It's where men shop
Yeah, okay.
to get everything.
Yeah, inclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that was. I
Oh,
thought you
okay.
was talking about old boy that played for the Lakers.
His name is haberdashery.
Something like that.
That must be a new player. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
new.
You know?
Yeah, he's new.
Yeah.
EP,
he-
Yeah, man.
how you feeling?
Man, I feel all right.
You feel all right?
Yep.
Man, I'm with you, bro.
I feel all right. A mighty long way.
How about
Come
you?
right along with.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great,
Yeah.
man.
Good. You look great.
Thank you, sir. So do you.
Amen.
Man, all you guys, man. That's
Yeah.
one thing I've been hearing, man. It's like somebody told me, say, I want to just come and hang out because I know the way y'all dress is the whole studio is just good smelling cologne.
I'm gonna tell you the
When you
truth,
look
Kev.
like you smell good.
I'm really mad at you, bro. For
I
like
mean-
you were ever since you lost weight, bro.
Mhm.
You're literally taking all the stuff that I would wear.
But you know what, E? When I was bigger, the little dudes would come in my section and take all my clothes. So I'm
Well,
just paying
man.
y'all back. And I ain't finished.
You look swell.
Thank you,
You
sir.
My man, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not swollen.
How's your health, bro?
The health is going excellent.
Blessing.
The
That's great.
diabetes is reversed. So
Wow,
like I-
amen.
yes,
I
sir.
applaud you for
Thank
that.
you. So
Awesome.
still got a little ways to go. Like I said, I'm trying to get to y'all weight.
Shoot. I'm
Amen.
trying to lose some
Yeah,
of that.
absolutely.
So yeah. But
Let's jump on in.
what
Let's
is the
dive on in.
topic tonight?
Trevor, you ready to
topic-
jump on in? Let's
I'm
go.
ready to go with these topics. All right. Ignoring the red flags. What are the red flags? What are some of the red flags that we have a tendency to see but overlook? What are some of the signs that some of us may have directly or even some that we may overlook indirectly
Mhm.
that are red flags when you're pursuing or in a relationship?
What do you think? What do you think contributes to one overlooking?
I think the dopamine,
Dopamine.
the early stages of being introduced to a person, being overwhelmed by the appearance and the first impression. The phrase, every book is good in the beginning, so it's like I think that dopamine have a tendency to make us overlook a lot of red flags. What about you?
Um, I believe you hit the nail right on the head. That's definitely one of the things that would contribute to one ignoring red flags is being enamored by one
Mm-hmm.
beauty for men because we're visual for the most part. And just ignoring we oftentimes we want what we want. You know what I mean? So we're willing to deal with some stuff just to get what we want or what we thought we wanted.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I think that was key.
Yeah.
What about you, Kano?
I think some of it has to do with ego, because being egotistical, sometimes you feel like a person has an issue and you feel you can fix it.
Come
And
on
it's
now.
not your
Come
place
on.
to fix it. This person may be lacking in, I can help her out with that. I can make her better in that way. And sometimes it's not your place. So that ego will allow you to be, men, we're fixers. So we want to, you present a problem and she's the problem. You want to fix her. I can, we get a fixer upper. It's just like a house.
Yeah.
And we think we can fix this up and make it our mansion.
What are some of the problems that you've run into that you thought you could fix?
Well, I thought I could fix a woman's attitude, like her attitude would get better. Teaching her some how to do mindful thoughts, teaching her some yoga, and doing things that'll calm the mind.
Yeah.
And as soon as she got off that mat, she was just as crazy as a Bessie bug. That's what Big Mama used to say. Crazy as a Bessie bug.
Wow.
So some things are, just childhood trauma. That person needs to go to therapy for that. You can't be her therapist and try to fix her. She's not kind already. Leave her behind.
I think oftentimes
if she's not kind, leave her behind.
Yep.
Yeah. I think oftentimes we feel as if because we are also, logical or function on logic, we have a tendency to try to fix because what makes sense to us may not necessarily make sense to them. I think oftentimes our logical words can fall on emotional ears. So it's misinterpreted. And we also have to continue to say, okay, so what did you get out of what I just said? Or what did you just hear me say? And if they're listening with that emotional ear, we have a tendency to clash, male and female. What about you, Kev? What do you think some red flags are?
Well, where I come from, back in the day, I couldn't ignore red flags.
Because he was
he was on the other side. He had the blue flag. He had the blue flag.
Well, just switch it
he
around.
didn't like red flags at all.
How did you handle blue flags? Let's just reverse.
Flags, period.
Yeah, call it a blue flag.
We not promoting violence and gangbang, but I think just pretty much what all you guys said. We, and then I guess being young, did you really see or pay attention where you focus on the red flags? Because like you said, the way they, she's bad, a 10.
Hey,
that's
what we were seeking
right
back then.
Exactly.
I mean,
you seek it a little bit now, still.
yeah, but it changed.
Don't take it completely off the table.
Right.
You can't negate that.
No. But
come on.
I mean, at that time, the 10 meant something different than what the 10 now versus now. So we was, really just like you said, we was in you couldn't bring a non-attractive female around this group.
Yeah, boy, you get talked about.
Yeah,
that's how much pressure that is.
Yeah,
what?
Especially EP.
Don't do that,
man. You bring an ugly female around.
What?
Did you see the word?
Is there a thing called an ugly female? I don't know. What do you?
What unattractive?
I said unattractive.
What do you mean? Even unattractiveness.
Unattractive.
I mean,
we want to be politically correct.
Well,
no, I'm just saying. Is there a such thing as an
spirit
unattractive
can be
woman?
ugly?
Okay,
now
good one.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with. Let's say everybody come up with about 3 signs of red flags. What would be 3 signs of red flags? What were 3 red flags in your opinion. Me personally, I got a whole plethora of red flags, but for the sake of the show and time, I'll be
Just give us
narrowed them down
three
to
then.
Yeah,
principles.
You said
Yeah.
three. Start us out, buddy.
Yeah. He just threw that around like we
for
just
the
went
sake of
around the
time.
whole table telling about red flags. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
Examples of
Oh, you gonna turn your notebook?
Yeah. I
Okay.
wouldn't. This wouldn't
Okay.
talk to me.
All right.
But I'm just in terms of principles, right? Lack of humility, lack of accountability. A person that doesn't respect the showing of respect
Wow.
to
those are some top ones.
signs of respect. A person that doesn't have, or better yet,
You said three now.
standards. Oh,
You
my
said
bad.
three.
Yeah, yeah.
We cutting it
let me
off
bring
at
that
three.
back a
So,
little bit. Sorry
so
about that.
everybody else
So-
can get a turn.
Right,
Okay,
dude. So
so-
in Belize is what is 3 in Belize?
Tree.
Tree,
Man,
man.
tree in Belize.
Is this
Tree.
tree?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Belize is
This
tree.
is tree?
No,
Yeah.
four. Tree.
Yeah. So I think one of my red flags is her if she doesn't have a healthy relationship with her father.
That's
That's a red flag to me.
Mhm.
You know, or a healthy relationship with her parents, let's say, but especially her father, because if she doesn't, she looks at him a certain way. She damn sure ain't gonna look at me
Mhm.
like with reverence,
Mm.
you know. And then mine was a lack of accountability. A lot of people aren't accountable, and I think her relationship with a higher being is very important to me. You know, if she's claiming to run around to be an atheist, that's not gonna fly well in my
Definitely.
household.
That's a red wall.
Right.
That ain't a red flag.
Yeah. So that would be my three. You know,
Mhm.
just her healthy relationship with her father in particular, but her mother too, because her seeing that relationship and that is healthy, it kind of constitutes like, hey, she's able to understand a healthy relationship.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so without that, I'm thinking like, well, that might be that's a red flag if she doesn't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
reverence and love for her father.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a valid point, because oftentimes, like
Can we
you
get to
said-
other people's three?
Well, I thought you want to pass the mic.
Oh
to
yeah, I
his-
did. I was going
He
to.
did. We know
but-
that if you went, then he went. There's only
Yeah.
two, and then one
Yeah,
of us.
so-
One of
yeah,
us
no.
would
I
start.
was going to
Yeah.
pass one of them the mic because you.
I think we need a
Yeah.
buzzer.
Right. Go ahead.
Do we get
Yeah. Do you want a pointer?
No,
Do-
go ahead. I mean, you got the mic.
Okay.
Go ahead. EP.
Okay, me. A red flag for me is will be inconsistency. Will be one. Clinginess,
Oh, wow.
Mm.
and someone who's argumentative, or a
Oh,
nagger.
yeah. Wow.
Nagger.
Wow.
Say, yeah, you can just add all our threes
Right,
up
yeah.
together, right?
Yeah.
And I could
Yeah.
Yeah,
set
we'll
those
have
too.
we'll have 12.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll
Be 12 flags on the play.
right,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
A penalty. Mine is just piggybacking on what all you all said, but lies. If a person lies,
Mm.
you can catch a person in a lie, and I mean sometimes even just like the simplest thing.
Lie.
Yeah. How she carry herself. Is she respectful? Do she have self-respect?
Mm.
You know, is she one that, you know,
In the club, dropping it like it's hot.
yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Can't do that. So, like argumentative, you know, or double standards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's another
So
one.
will we say those red flags once we see them, we break wide, or that's something
I
you have
think-
to explore more?
I think the older we get, we kind of know we're wiser.
Yeah.
So we know kind of some things that we can't change,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or we see them progress, or if they respect you enough,
Yeah.
you can see them self-checking themselves.
Mhm.
So if you see indications of that early on, then I'm a little more lax and be like, okay, because sometimes we adjust
Mhm.
to the people that we're interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
So,
what I mean?
or you say, what if they're just adjusting to get in good? That's really not them, right?
But-
They're gonna revert back to who they
okay,
really
well,
are.
Then guess what's gonna happen when they rear their head? They're
Mm.
I'm gonna revert them back to.
Yeah.
That's I would like to also hear from some of the callers. What are your views? What are some of the things that you believe are red flags? Do you try to resolve it? Do you walk away, or are those just what do you call those when you just
Sever?
no deal breakers?
Yeah.
Are those red flags deal breakers for you? How do you handle when you see deal breakers? How do you feel when
Yeah, I think they're categorized for me. I
Yeah.
think there's
Mhm.
levels.
Yeah. They're
If it's
in
cardinal
levels.
sins,
at what point does a red flag become a deal breaker to you?
depends on which one it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
give me an
it's
example.
It's a
If-
cardinal violation.
Yeah, if it's nagging or you're complaining about what it takes for me to provide,
Mhm.
then it's a deal breaker. Like that's not going to get better.
Oh, that's one of the worst. I
Yeah.
think especially for a man that loves what they do,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like they're going to work. It doesn't feel like they're working a day in their lives. It's an old saying. It says, what is it? If you find a career in something that you love doing, you won't work a day
another day in
in your life, right?
Yeah.
And I can understand what you're saying. If you stop me from going to work, or you shouldn't go, the phrase "you shouldn't go to work," or like it's kind of like, huh? What do you? Why don't you just take a day off? You need to rest. I'm like, okay, talk to you later.
Mm.
Then what? You know?
Yeah.
Let's rest this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happens when you? Because we've all had red flags.
Yeah.
And the subtitle was, "What did you expect?"
Yeah.
What do you expect? You know, we think I know I'm not the only one that we think like we can get over that. She's cute enough to,
Yeah.
just push that to the side,
Yeah.
sweep that up under the rug, or you may mention it and she says, "Yes, daddy, I'm going to do this."
Calling me daddy is a flag. Don't call me daddy.
Well,
go ahead.
but
Huh?
that
Oh,
Really?
female call me daddy.
okay. All right.
Go ahead.
You got some daddy issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Female call me daddy.
All right.
She
Yeah.
got some daddy.
No. It's just
Go ahead, as you were saying, brother. I'm
Yeah.
leaving it
Totally
there.
different.
I'm
Yeah, I
leaving
know.
it there.
a
Totally
different
different.
cultures. Different cultures.
Yeah.
What about if she
Totally
said,
different.
"Yeah, Poppy"? What about Poppy? You like Poppy better? Poppy is good. Yeah, Poppy is good. We just switch it up and say Poppy.
That's all. Mean
Go
the
ahead,
same
man. I
thing.
didn't
Yeah,
mean to
but
cut you off.
I think sometimes the red flags that we may see and we don't express our disdain for them, they will continue.
Me, like you said earlier, I would rather just address it then, because if we gonna move forward, these are the things that has to be discussed. And like Irv said, some things, we just gotta accept. We all are growing, in our set in our ways. But if it's going to affect the relationship between you and I, if we, those things that we need to address, if we can't, then I don't know if we can move forward.
So what would you say to some things? You have to build a pattern of behavior, because some things you can see, okay, fine, but I believe that consistency in that bad behavior. Okay, if I see on a consistent basis that you don't have standards, if I see on a consistent basis that you are blaming everybody else for your growth or your failure, when you see certain signs of humility in a person, that's I think an attractive feature in a woman that's attractive. To say that, you know what, I am not my body. I am not my. It's like, you know what I mean. I am not my clothes. I am not my superficial things. I like humility, and I find it attractive.
One major thing for me is how you treat other people. You can treat me fine, but if I see you mistreating somebody else, that's a very big turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a red
And
flag.
it's only
right
a
there.
matter of it's only a matter of time before you start
Yeah.
acting that way towards me.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that before, right? I was like, I don't care how she treat me. I want to see how you treat.
No, I care how she treat me
yeah,
too.
you gotta-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because
You
it-
don't care how
in-
she treats you?
in the beginning, that's everybody treats you with some kind of reverence, I think. But how you treat other people, okay, we talking. I ain't gonna call this bitch back. You're like, okay, oh yeah, I'm mad at her. I ain't calling her. Oh, you know, I'm just not gonna speak to her. And hold on, okay, you courting me. I'm courting you. We talking. We having good conversations. We hanging out and going out. But you know, what about those old friends? That's another thing that I have an issue with. That I think is a red flag. You don't
Mhm.
keep friends long. You cutting them off, or you just letting them go? They just made a mistake, and you didn't get clarification on it. Those
Mhm.
kind of things, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, you treat me cool because I'm not going to keep you entertained all the time. I'm not going to, you know, what they say, the things that make you laugh, make you cry, something like that.
Same things make you laugh, make you cry. Or how do you treat me when you're mad at me?
Mhm. What's your
You know what I mean?
conflict
Yeah.
resolution? How do you
Do you
resolve?
do you
conflict?
disattach yourself from me when you're mad, and then when we're back cool, you're back around? Do you stop supporting when we have an issue, or do you work through those things? Like
Mhm.
those are things I look at.
Yeah. Can,
Can
we
we-
put that last comment?
Yeah,
up
from Shantae.
Yeah.
Shantae says people who are okay with dysfunctional relationships because they come from one, huge red flag.
Mm,
Mm.
mm.
Yeah.
In
that's true.
in a situation like that, I have a tendency to ask a person, what happened in your last relationship and how did it end? And if they don't put themselves in the involvement or in it, it's kind of like
They don't take no accountability for
that's a
it.
sign, you
Yeah.
know. And I also want to thank Taylor, Belinda, Nikita, Wicker, and Shantae for communicating with us and sending us some of your feedback and comments. Appreciate
Mhm.
that.
So if is one of the red flags, and people say this is men being controlling, like if the woman you begin to date is hanging out every weekend, goes to the club with a girl every weekend, that's a huge red flag for me.
I
And
think at our age, yeah.
yeah, I don't care about any age. If she's going out every weekend with her girls, I may only have one time, a Sunday afternoons, to spend time with you, but you elect to go out every weekend, every weekend.
And then that one that drinks.
Oh yeah, don't drink and
if you come home, or a friend got to bring you home because you done had too much. You didn't know when to stop. Or I gotta.
So to me, she's missing something. If you tell her, hey, a woman that I'm date seriously is not going to have that type of behavior, and she still elects to have that type of behavior, then you just cut her off, right?
She is missing something. She's missing me. Yeah.
At that point.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
We would love to hear from especially some of the women that their perspective on it, some red flags, because we're talking from a predominantly male panel. And
Predominantly?
You like
okay.
You like a
You
little
are a male
bit.
panel.
You're a little bit female. I'm
Is it
glad
something-
you recognize that. I'm glad you recognize
Is
that.
it something you want to tell her?
Well,
Is this
no,
a different show or what?
This is a male panel, but we have been predominantly talking about male perspective and points of view.
You can't even get it out.
I know y'all got me all. But here for some of the women's point of view on it. We appreciate for you to call in. The phone number should be at the bottom of your screen. And in the meantime, you can also like and share if you enjoy the content.
Yes, please like and share.
That's
big for us to like and share this platform, and so we could spread the message around the world.
And this is the one time we allow you to lie to us. So even if you don't like us, still share.
What do you?
Or they could say that they don't like us.
Right.
Listen to
You
these
are, yeah.
ignorant motherfuckers. And
Right,
this is
exactly.
what they said.
I'm
share
sure.
it.
What about communication? Is communication a big red flag, a small
The
red
lack
flag
of
to you
communication.
guys?
The lack of
The
communication.
lack of effective communication.
No, it does. It's not a red flag for me.
Okay, why not?
because I just want to be different.
Okay.
So people communicate in different ways. We have the biggest communication, right, is nonverbal, body language, gestures, and everything. We think about it. Everybody thinks it's the words that we say. It's how we communicate. I could say I love you three different ways, and you would get three different messages, right? So it's me for me. It's how I communicate and how everybody want to say nowadays. Oh yeah, you got that vibe. We got that chemistry going on. Chemistry is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So and you don't know chemistry. I could be talking to a young lady over the phone for a long time, and when we get together in person, the chemistry is different because the body language, the energy is off.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that is important to me. Chemistry is important. Does that include a small percentage of communication? Yes. I mean, verbal communication, words that we say. That's only 7% of communication.
So, at what point will the chemistry be a red flag if you guys don't have chemistry? How long would it take for you to know that we don't have that chemistry?
I think upon meeting someone, you kind of, if you really, your gut to tell you like this person is crazy. They may be like, doing something that is like throwing the
Have a
whole
twitch.
move.
Another
mood off.
another red flag since you're talking about in
Right.
person is if we go out and all you
Oh yeah, yeah,
every
Yeah.
other every
yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
and
disrespecting
yeah,
me,
that's-
really?
right.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's a phobia.
Yeah,
It's
you know.
nomophobia.
also trying controlling. Um, that's one for me. I've already been raised. You can't raise me anymore. So a woman that's like we spoke on, trying to change you
Mm,
to fit her, but
yeah.
then also you want me to make all the changes, but you still staying the same because it's some shit about you I don't like. But you concentrating so much on changing me that to where you don't even see where you need to change.
Mm.
And then crazy. I can't do crazy no more.
Can you tell
I
me?
think
Can any of y'all tell me somebody that you broke up with, and then you seen the red flag, but you thought you could do it, but that was one of the main reasons that you broke up with him, and you never after you broke up with him, you was like, damn, I never should have, because she was already like this or that.
Mm,
mm,
I knew she was like this, but
mm,
I just kept on going.
right.
I've been in a situation like that.
But
But,
what was it? What was it that you felt you could overcome?
I didn't understand the person before. Like, okay, what made that happen? Okay, when did you say that? And like, what's going on? Like, you know what? Let's just end this, right? So afterwards, still remain friends, but I found out why certain things were happening and the way she reacted to certain things. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I get it. Now I
Mm.
understand you better. But it was some deep rooted unresolved issues that she have had
Mhm.
before, but it was too hard for her to share. And I understood. Like, okay, got it. So we were cool afterwards, and I understood afterwards.
a red flag, men who believe that women can't tell them what to do.
That's Pacific Cali. So if she could,
That's her red flag.
I guess,
Yeah.
men that don't think that I could tell. It's probably how you're telling him.
Right.
It's like we said. It's
matters.
it's
That
how
matters.
It
you're
matters.
telling him.
What was
If
the
you
statement?
going at him with a bitter tongue,
Right.
you're gonna get a
Yeah,
bitter
if you-
response.
right, exactly.
If you go at him with a sweet tongue,
and then
I agree.
are you
Get it.
telling him in a way or for us to build him, not tear him down?
yeah,
So that matters as well. So
Yeah.
if you're telling me what to do to subtract from me, then there's a problem.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
all in the way that you deliver.
Yep.
It's
in
delivery and
Yeah,
everything.
it's delivery.
Okay,
Yeah.
let
It's
me
delivery.
on the flip side of the coin. Do you think oftentimes the men have have difficulty addressing something uncomfortable?
I don't as a mature male, I don't think I have that issue anymore. But
Did
maybe
you-
when I was younger, I to be honest, when I was younger, it was my way or the highway.
Really?
You don't that's the way it was. It was just I didn't have time for the other stuff.
Mm.
If you wanna we gonna run this program. And I'm sort of still like that a little
I was
bit.
Yeah, I
gonna
was
say
just-
earlier.
man.
I was gonna say
I
earlier.
was
still
just waiting
wanna-
until you finished
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. I was like earlier.
We
I
go-
think we was more accepting. The
Just
our
gonna run
earlier
this
year.
program, and then that's it.
Hmm.
You
What
know
about
what I
you,
mean?
Jeff? Do you think men have a tendency, or even you, addressing
Not
this-
now, not anymore. Probably back like kind of sort of like what Canoe to a degree, because we it was times where I had multiple
Multiple what? Cars,
partners. Well, I had those
Cars?
too, multiple
Oh.
cars, but
multiple
so-
women.
yeah, so I wasn't really
What
trying
you
to
had?
get.
You had?
Yeah, man, I know.
Wow, how could you?
I
I don't know. That
Hey.
was that was something else.
I had to
Wow.
learn. I had to learn. I got better.
Mm.
Well,
got
over
better.
the years.
That's
But,
good.
Yeah.
What
good.
about you, Irv? Do you think that?
Do I think what?
Do you think that oftentimes men have
Difficulty.
difficulty addressing discomfort?
I think it depends on the relationship and how mature both parties are in the relationship and and how you lay the ground.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I like to in a relationship and from the very beginning establish protocol that we can bring up things and address things. And if we can't do it, especially now, I don't have time for
Wow.
anything confusing like that where I want to know what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't want your attitude to change or the atmosphere to shift and you can't even express it.
Mhm.
Because I get the attitude like, what now?
Yeah, you mad at me for what?
Yeah, for
Mhm.
what? Just
Yeah.
express it.
Mhm.
So I try to over communicate.
Mhm.
And when we can't come to a resolve, then the relationship will be dissolved.
Mm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a show about how to dissolve a relationship
How to dissolve a
Amicably.
relationship?
Amicably. Yeah.
amicably.
Yeah, I
Wow.
saw a comment that said when a red flag, I forgot who it was, a red flag is when a man is in a relationship and he doesn't tell you that he's in a relationship. Well, that's past a red flag.
Right.
That's blatant.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a wall.
That's a hard wall with
Yeah.
with spikes.
Yeah.
Spikes and bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't excuse me, you don't need a sign for that.
No, not at all.
But then too, I mean, a lot of them are past that red flag, thinking that they can change that man or get involved with that man, knowing that he had or he is in a relationship, and then things start going left. Now you're upset.
That comes down to standards too.
right,
That
exactly.
Like, yeah, that's on you
Right.
if that's what you
Yeah.
If
accept.
that's what you accept,
mm,
it goes on. You
Mm.
know.
wow. I wonder if women would see men not necessarily addressing certain issues as a red flag for women. Connie, Janelle, Pacific Cali, Denisha, and Cassandra. Call in or let us know what you think about that. Do women see that as a red flag to us? Because we have a tendency to either stonewall. I think the comment was stonewall. We have a tendency to stonewall,
Yeah, that's
or if that's the case in our mind, also it's like, you know what, I've already checked out,
yeah.
and that's kind of unfair to them. But do women? You let us know. Do women think that may be a red flag for them?
Andre Wicker said, could one person's boundaries be misinterpreted as a red flag?
One person's boundaries. I think I parallel that to standards.
Yeah, if you go
Yeah.
beyond
And if it's a boundary, is it is it expressed?
And you know, we have safe words.
You should.
We have safe.
You should.
Don't go beyond.
I don't know what
We have safe words.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you went to, buddy. but-
Yeah. Well, I'm just going. I'm good. If she wanted to go beyond the safe word, you know, that might be a red flag.
Okay.
I'm just
All
saying.
right.
Yeah.
I know we
Just
got
saying.
safe words for our
Does the
children.
type of women, I'm sorry, does the type of friends that a female that you're interested in is an indication to you of anything, a possible red flag? Her friends.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to say, if you say birds of a feather flock together, you know, if all your friends are hoes and you're the only one that's not a hoe,
Right.
I'm think you're gonna have some hoish
You-
tendencies
yeah, you got-
when you
yeah.
go out with the other
Yeah.
hoes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
A man that is uncomfortable receiving and giving affection publicly. That's a red flag.
That's a red flag for Cassandra.
Well, yeah, that
That's
sounds
a
like
red
a
flag.
personal
I
one
mean,
because
Yeah,
I think that's a
I
matter
think-
of preference.
I was gonna say
But-
the same thing.
I
No
like
matter-
I
public
like
affection.
public. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
I
we
think
ain't gotta
PDA
lay down on the curb, but
I mean,
I like, you know,
I like it.
I
I'm
like
like,
Lay it out on the curb.
I'm gonna hold
just
your
saying.
hand and
right.
you know.
Slap you on the butt,
Uh,
you know, rub your back,
Not you.
kiss you on the forehead.
Because it's quite natural when I'm walking on the street side of the curve, right? Get that. Learn
as a
that.
gentleman.
Etiquette.
Yes.
Yeah.
I naturally put my arm out for her to link her arm in. That's a public show.
That's why you have a haberdashery as
Right.
opposed to a store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
What?
Yeah.
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 We used
Yeah.
to we used to just
Yeah.
hug or hold hands.
Yeah. Hey, when that arm go out, you know.
Let me ask you,
No,
will
that's
you
what-
lay your coat over a puddle? Are
Nah,
you-
I'm not doing
okay,
that.
Okay.
Why are we?
A
Why are we in a place where there's a
It's
big
a
ass
puddle.
puddle?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
my
and
coat
you gotta-
is not gonna do
Right.
anything for that puddle.
You got a swing coat on, huh?
Yeah.
It ain't finna
Nah,
happen.
it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
What do you guys feel
I will
about?
carry her over the threshold.
Okay, amen.
There you go.
Amen.
That's a better one.
So, what do you guys think about a woman that's critical of you and other people?
Mm,
That's a
Yeah.
red wall for me.
right.
Yeah, if a person is
Critical of me?
Yeah.
Can't do it, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Ah,
feels
shit.
like
Damn.
it oftentimes I think it makes any person feel like, you know what, I can't be me because you're here now. And I think that's kind of unfair for both parties because you want to find out who the true person is, and you also
Oh.
want to be true to yourself.
Man, this Bobby Wilkerson. I don't know. Let me say this young lady, Bobby Wilkerson, says a man who doesn't understand the meaning of if the woman of the house ain't happy, no one can be happy.
Canoe.
I
Ooh.
disagree
How
with
do
that.
we? How do
You better
we
call in,
feel?
Bobby, on that one.
Heavily
What is
Call
our?
in.
I
Thank you for
totally
your-
disagree
hold
with
on.
that.
What is
I
it?
disagree.
What
I
is it?
completely
What do we
disagree.
go by?
We say happy
Please.
spouse, happy house.
There you go.
It's not happy
So
wife,
it-
happy life.
It's either or.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
The
so
man is included.
I mean,
I think
her
we should be
happiness
included.
is important, but I'm not. I don't have the wand that says you're happy. You have to
happiness
be
is-
that
yeah, it's personal.
already.
It's personal.
And I
Even
wanna
if that
add
house
to it.
have to turn into an apartment. I'll
Yeah,
just say that.
because it says in Proverbs, I'd rather live in a rooftop
Yeah.
than be in a house with a contentious woman.
Ooh. Hey, where the
Come on,
gunshots?
yeah,
Where's
where
the
the- yeah,
gunshots?
exactly.
That's
Should've
what
been
it
a
say.
couple. That should've
Come
been a
on,
And I
Keith.
and I
Where
and
the
I
machine
listen to
gun
that
was?
word right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
trying
don't want to
make
be in a house with a woman that you walking on eggshells with,
Can't
Nah.
do it.
just for her to be happy.
Nah.
What? Come on,
Yeah.
Bobby. If you
Yeah.
got to call in
Yeah,
and
let's talk about that.
yeah,
then.
yeah, you got to
'cause-
call in on that one. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? What's up? Jimmy says a black woman that says she's a strong woman and don't need to rely on a man and is always saying know your worth, but don't know the culture of the other races or the culture of heritage of her own race.
That would be a call in because I didn't get it.
Yeah. Well, he's saying basically she doesn't need a man. That was the preface, just to surmise what he's saying, and that she knows her worth. You know, her worth is more than your worth.
Well, maybe she didn't see any of the previous shows, because we also
No,
said
that was him. That
Okay,
was Jimmy.
Yeah, it's Jimmy.
but we
Jimmy.
also said that we
Bobby's
need each other.
back.
Right.
Bobby,
need to
come
call.
on,
But
just
if-
call
if-
in,
but
Bobby,
we need
so
to
we can
call
have this
for it.
conversation.
But see,
Right.
the thing
If
is,
the
I
woman is
don't.
happy,
Right.
Bobby, just go on
she'll
call
keep
in.
the
keep
man
the man happy.
But it
Whose
still
job
go
is it?
both ways.
Yeah,
if
it
the
is.
It
man
definitely does. I'm
is
living
is happy, he would do everything to keep that woman happy. So it
Yeah,
go
it
both
is
ways.
It
mutual.
goes
Yeah.
both ways. Bobby.
You need
I
the number,
definitely
Bobby.
agree.
Do you
I
need
definitely
The
agree.
Bobby,
It's at
Bobby,
the
the
bottom.
number is at the bottom of the
At the
screen. You
bottom.
can call in the show.
900-0478.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you guys feel about the tug of war in a relationship, or the constant comparisons or the competitions? How do you guys feel
Oh,
about
I'm not
that?
having
Kevin?
that.
I think
ain't
in
finna
Tell
tug
them what
in
you
tug of
think.
war, have you ever seen the when it's really, really tight and one side just does this?
Let go.
Mhm.
That's you.
That's time. It's time to let go.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What about
I'm
you,
with
Kev?
it, man. I'm just like
Tug of war,
Herb,
who's
like
doing
Herb
that?
said, man. It's late. It's late in the game for us.
It's getting late in the evening.
Hey, Eddie Sweet.
Yeah.
So
Sun is almost gone.
man, that's a hymn, and some of y'all don't know. That's a hymn. But yeah,
Bobby.
man. I don't can't.
What do you think about the tug of war
I-
analogy?
I think there's a good thing as far as a healthy kind of challenge to make us both better.
But you said constant.
But
You said
but
constant.
tug of war. This is not a competition. We don't have to compete against each other. We should be uplifting each other, because in the same manner, the tug of war, you can also have that catch-22 of love and happiness and encouragement and support. You can have that versus, oh, I got this car. Oh, I'm gonna get this
Oh, there
car.
we
I got
go.
this.
Okay,
Gotta
maybe
be
this is
Bobby.
Bobby
This
call.
is Bobby. Let's see if this
Let's
is
see
Bobby.
if this is Bobby.
Hello.
Thank you for calling Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Tell us your name, comment, or question.
This is Bobby Wilkerson.
Talk to me, Bobby. Talk to us, Bobby.
Okay, Bobby, go ahead.
Hey, so let me preface this
Explain
by saying I
yourself.
did not hear the first 30 minutes of the show. I'm sorry, I was doing some work.
It's
But
okay.
what I mean when I say that, it is not a woman finding her happiness within her mate. Yes, it is happy spouse, happy house. But if the woman of the house is not made happy, whether that's conversation, whether that's intimacy, which is not just sexual, whether that's coming home, whether that's flowers, whatever that love language is for her, then she in turn can make her spouse happy. Because men are simple, pretty much. We've determined that.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot of things that you need. But the things that you do need, it makes us contentious to want to give them to you when you don't do something simple as talk to us.
Bobby, can I ask you a question? It's like
I
the
need one
chicken,
answer.
the chicken before the egg. Like which one came first? And this is the same scenario I have with this. Like, why aren't you doing the things for you and your mate that before he even does anything that makes you happy? You're saying you're going to wait on him to do
No.
things,
I'm
or
not saying that.
okay,
I'm saying that that's not at all what I'm saying. When you come
Okay.
into a relationship, you come into it whole full throttle. Everybody's making everybody happy.
okay,
What I'm saying is at times you have to a lot of times listen to your person, because they will tell you generally when
Your
things
person.
start to going off to the south, going off in a different direction, if they're feeling some kind of way.
hmm
And if I've dealt with someone who I would say, if women of the house ain't happy, then it's hard to, for you to be happy, because we are emotional.
So,
Women are emotional. You got to tend to our emotions. And if
is-
we are not emotionally happy,
hmm
then the other stuff ain't gonna come either.
Yeah,
okay,
'cause
so
You
let
don't
me-
want to do that stuff y'all want.
It's
I know you emotions are important for women, and I agree with what you're saying. And a man should understand that about his person, as you like to call it. But I want to get a red flag from you, because that's what the show is about. What is the red flag? And I know if a person is not emotionally and practice emotional intelligence, but what is another red flag for you?
For me, it could be
Big sigh.
something as simple as not being kind or being right with their own mother.
Mm.
and people say, if they don't treat their mother right, then they won't treat you right.
Yeah.
I run across, you can run across someone who may have some anger or some things going on, or maybe they didn't do well, whatever that relationship is. If they don't treat their mama right, they're not going to treat you right, and that's simple. Because that's out of respect for females.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Thank you, Bobby. Did you have something
Thank you,
else for
Bobby.
Bobby?
Oh, no.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you calling in
Yeah, Bobby, and
getting
your
us to the point.
cheerleader named Angie. Angie
she
Mack.
just
educate
she just said educate them, Bobby.
What?
Like, wow, are we like with dunce caps over here?
Block,
One of the things
like,
that got me
block her. Don't
Yeah,
let
or
her,
are we expressing what make
not you, Bobby.
not you, Bobby, not you, Bobby.
one of the things that got me with your comment was I always stood against that because it's not my job to make her happy.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, but what I'm saying, just for clarity, because a lot of times, often we as men, because the simple comment that it's her, we're assuming that it's our job to make her happy, and that's not the case. I just want to give clarity to that because it's not our job or nobody's job to make another person here happy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're
but I get it.
speaking to-
If she come home and
to
she
that.
unhappy, it's a matter of how we're going to deal with her day, and let's try to wash that off. And if I got to be an emotional pincushion at that point, then fine. But oftentimes people don't come in with a sign that says I'm feeling good today or I'm feeling bad today. Red nose, green nose. It's a matter of reading that person, feeling that body language, that effective communication when they're coming in. But before you even get home, okay, how was your day? You know what? I'm pretty upset. I'm pretty pissed off. Some of the things that she's going to say and do, sometimes we have to just listen. We can't be kind. We can't do nothing extra. She just needs to let that out. Women have usually, historically, they need to let things out. Men have to internalize and take things in. So that's where we would probably need each other.
I think it's knowing your mate and knowing what they need and that doesn't come.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah,
thank you, Bobby.
Okay.
That doesn't come automatically. Sometimes you have to go through things to understand how to offset and how to add value to certain situations.
I agree.
And then too, you have some men that are full of emotions, but I still feel it goes both ways.
Yeah,
because I have to
absolutely go.
Yeah, and I mean we just agree that we disagree because I have to be happy too.
No, I think she was saying that in the end.
Yeah,
she was saying that in the end, but I think she just put like women like it's important for her her being a woman to be cared for emotionally.
Yeah,
and sometimes we as men we aren't as emotional as women, and maybe don't understand like the emotions that they may be going through because we're more logical thinking beings. We with emotions.
This chick right here, though, man.
What chick?
So what do you got?
What chick right here? Right there on the screen.
Belinda?
Oh, Belinda?
Belinda?
Belinda. You want me to read what Belinda says?
Y'all know her?
Yeah, I know her.
Oh, okay.
Both parties should be trying to outdo the other to keep the relationship thriving. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Executing love, respect, honor, intimacy, etc. It should not be one-sided.
And
I agree with
So
that.
that chick you're talking about?
Is she single? Do you know her? Know she's single?
I don't think she's single. I think she's dating somebody on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, there's only 4 of us, so it's not me, and
it's not him, and it's
only
only one person left.
Derek.
You find out. You find out.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
What about a person that is self-aware and she's cognizant of who she is and she compartmentalizes her feelings? The ability for a woman to do that. She's more self-assertive, self-aware. What do you feel about that?
In order to have a healthy relationship, she's going to have to work on that, and maybe the man is going to have to help her to where it's a good place for her to communicate and how to fix that, because holding things in is not good for a relationship.
It's not.
Period.
You let that thing fester, and any little can explode.
Exactly.
Right.
Any little thing.
Yeah, same thing. I do. I agree.
especially when you have speed bumps in the relationships, you definitely want to address the issue. However, if you are if she, in both parties, are able to compartmentalize and be mad at and address the issue and not be mad or upset with the person, then it's better. Let's address this issue. Let's address what happened. How do we resolve it? And how do we move forward? And how do we hopefully prevent it from happening again?
Well, Trev, I feel speed bumps are safe.
Because
It's the potholes that you want to
Yeah.
avoid.
Often speed bumps come with a warning.
Right.
Warning. Yeah, they do.
Potholes.
Right.
That, so
Yeah.
But that's why I say red
Right,
flag.
right.
That's why I address it with the red flag thing. So yeah, I'm on board with you. Period.
There's so many red flags, and I'm surprised that the women here haven't brought up one of them, because we hear it so much, that we hear about this toxic masculinity and this being narcissistic,
Mhm.
and it's like being narcissistic is like only relegated to men, only to describe men, but you have women that could be narcissistic as well. They're just passive aggressive.
Can be? You said
No,
can be?
I
They
know
are.
some.
That's a loaded.
It is.
accusation to
It
call
is
a
loaded.
person.
It is,
It is,
and
but
especially when because it's literally a diagnosis.
Yeah, that's a
You know what I
big word to call.
It's in the DSM. I mean, but most people just use it frivolously. He's controlling. He's narcissistic.
Right.
Yeah.
What about attention seeking? How do you guys feel about women that are attention seeking? Is that a red flag to you?
Is it healthy attention seeking?
Right.
It could be valid. You
She's
can be
seeking
Give me an example.
you can be so caught up we can be so caught up into what we're doing that we are lacking to provide the attention that they need. So attention seeking can be great to be like, hey,
From you.
yeah, so what I like to do in a relationship is every quarter, no matter if we're doing fine, if we're not, we designate a day and we go hang out by ourselves and we say, how am I doing? Am I doing good here? How are the kids?
right.
Am I missing something? Because we can get so inundated with what we're doing on a daily basis
That's
that we
really good.
that we
Yeah,
miss
no,
something.
that's
So
right.
it's a quarterly check.
Right.
Period.
Quarterly
If we
check-in.
doing good, great. If we not, okay, man, I didn't realize that that way we won't get so far
Right.
out down the wrong path. And
Trying to be your friend.
That
So don't man, she trying to be
No,
your
don't
friend.
fall for it, EP.
yeah. So no, literally, like I think that will save
Right.
a lot of relationships.
You're right. That's
Yeah.
that's
Whether
a
you're
good
doing
way,
good
yeah.
or not. If you know you're doing bad,
Address it.
okay, I can't wait until the third Saturday of this, because you
Right.
already know it's coming. And if you want to take a list or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
do it. But let's address it. That way we can save ourselves a whole bunch of time and energy, and things won't get so far off track.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point, because in a relationship you get sedentary,
Right.
like you get lazy
Yeah.
with it. And it was this book that I read, Light Her Fire. So it was basically, the book was about keeping the fire lit in the relationship, and that was a good one right there. So, but she lists all kind of things you could do, romantic things like leave her a note, just a simple note.
Right.
You didn't know a handwritten note can change a
Small,
person's
simple
day?
thing.
Can
simple
move
things.
mountains.
Play. I'm gonna give y'all a little game. Play the song game. Send each other a song that expresses something. Just
We
through the
do
day.
that.
Send me a YouTube link or something
I
and
do
then
that.
you know what I mean?
I do that.
Something that
right now.
means something. Come on, fellas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that.
I sent a
that,
song
brother.
called Nasty.
Yeah.
Whatever you feeling.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah.
I don't. What that version? Man?
Yeah.
That's
It's been a
version.
great show, man.
Man,
It's
it
been
was,
a-
man.
I go too
I
fast.
still had some more questions to ask y'all. Manipulation and all that. Oh, this
That
was a
hour
fat
goes
show.
so fast.
Oh
but
yeah, it did.
We don't
It
want
did.
to. We don't want to keep y'all
Take up too much
much
of
of
your
your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Real.
Trev,
So
we-
so
we-
look, before we get to the real spit,
ahead.
let's talk about the show that we're gonna do next week.
Let's
I
get
think
it,
it's
okay.
important.
Okay.
Watch what I got. Watch what,
What
I
you got?
got.
What you got? What you got?
What's the cost of doing business?
Wait, just before you do that, read that.
She still has Kevin's handwritten note. It really is the simplest of things that matter. Oh, you trying to say like you the player.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. Look at him.
Yeah, bro.
Uh-huh.
Man, some poetry, some
Yeah.
you being expressive. Go ahead, EP.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Next week's show, real, what's the cost of doing business with a black business? Oh, what's the cost? Because oftentimes I want to do business,
Right.
but do we really do
Really,
good business?
right.
So we're gonna get into that next week.
That's gonna be a good show.
Yeah,
That's gonna be some homework.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it don't take too much on work because
Hey,
it's a lot of
It's
stuff.
right
yeah.
in our neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
It's right
brother.
in our
Go
neighborhood.
ahead.
Your clothes, we good. Okay,
Mhm.
real spit. When we're going into a relationship, I would recommend before we even get into a relationship, take some preventative measures. Look for red flags if they rear their ugly head, but don't necessarily nitpick and try to prove or go into it with a positive attitude, go into it with positive energy before you get entangled with the person. But I strongly suggest that you also look for the telltale signs of the responsibilities of both parties. Look for if that other person has the traits that is required to groom a healthy and nourish a healthy relationship. It's almost like understanding the order. A woman is more than likely apt to follow a man that has a strong moral compass. Let's say he's being led by God. Now, if God is his coach, you know what team he's on. You already know the score, but you also have that cheerleader. We quarterbacks, we need cheerleaders because whatever you cheer, we're going to make it happen and we're going to prove it and try to make it right, try to prove it right. But we're on the same team. And oftentimes when we as men go to the line and we try to change the game, get tackled or get sacked, it was our fault. So we need your encouragement. We need your support. If we don't want you to have a flag on the play, we need you. Like we said early in the previous shows. Yeah, maybe some red flags are going to rear their ugly head, but in a relationship, everyone is like a tea bag. You don't know how strong they are until they're in hot water. That's including all of us, men and women. I pray that we grow together. I pray that we unite with each other, continue to understand that we need each other. Thank you. And until next week's show, we'll be looking for you, and I hope you're going to be looking for us. Have a great week. Real Spit.
Yeah. Bless week. Man, great show. Good show, brother.